Good evening, everyone. My name is Richard Lewis Brown, and today is August 10th, 2022. I'm getting started early this evening. It's 6:15, and we'll start the Zoom at 6:30 this evening. All right, so I put up on Facebook what I'm going to talk about tonight. And normally I don't script or edit or rehearse anything. But I've been taking a lot of questions about Local 1000 going to work sites, and they say, Richard, they're copying what you were already doing. And that is true. So as you know, when I was elected, first day in office on June 30th, I was going to work sites, and I was videotaping Facebook live stream all of my visits to the work sites. So you would know exactly what I'm saying to people. Unfortunately, there are some Local 1000 leaders that are trying to imitate me, but yet we don't know what they're saying at the work sites other than them putting up pictures on Facebook. So when I go to a work site, I'm held accountable for my words and my actions. It's a shame that when people try to imitate me, they can't do the same thing, because we're trying to create the #1 union on earth. And so we have to create this union by being transparent and fighting for our members to get quality contracts. We have a poor history of getting childlike condescending contracts. And so tonight we're talking about contracts and the S word. The S word, strike. Now, anyone that follows Facebook, who's followed me throughout the years, knows how I feel about strikes. You show me a union that doesn't go on strike, and I'm going to show you a union that never gets a substantial pay increase for a period of time. And I'm going to show you a union that gets childlike condescending contracts. So I'm going to do a PowerPoint or a slide thing tonight on Zoom. But I put up the link on Facebook so you can go to my website, createexcellence7437.com, and you can go right there, you just click on it, and it has the slides. But I've gone a step further. Because a lot of times people told you that when I was at Local 1000 doing the PowerPoints on Wednesday night, that they said that when Richard's not doing that, the staff's doing all that work for him. The staff did some work, but I did a lot of work too. It was a 50-50 partnership. Listen to how I said that. It was a 50-50 partnership. I work with staff and they work with me. Even though they worked for me or worked for you under me. It's a shame that we've never had a 50-50 partnership with the state of California. And I am the only Local 1000 elected leader who have publicly over the years have told you this is a 50-50 partnership. And if it's not, then you don't have a union. You have a social justice organization that's spending money to one particular major political party. That's all that you have. So when they go to these work sites and people are like, what question should I ask leadership? You should ask them, number one, do you believe that the state of California is our boss? And if they tell you, yes, the state of California is our boss, then that tells you already that they're not going to fight for you to get a high quality contract, a 21% pay increase across the board along with GO pay and COLA. That will come out immediately. If they try to talk around it, that tells you again, they're not fighting for you. So even though there's this great controversy on right now, I'm waving at one of my childhood friends. All right, a great controversy right now. Let there be no controversy. There's only one person that was elected that has told you throughout the years that you must go on strike to get a substantial pay increase unless the other side is willing to negotiate in good faith with you and realize that you've been putting your life on the line voluntarily, but it doesn't matter, and kept the 4th largest economy on earth going for all of these years, regardless of the COVID pandemic. Regardless of any situation, the state of California has never lost a step. In fact, we're almost $100 billion in surplus. So there's no excuse about they don't have the money. They do have the money. So, in my 2018 brochure, I talked about this. Our ability to go on strike. Now, I see someone. If that person is serious, then please put in the text that you want to come on Facebook and do a video with me right now. If you're serious, put it in the text and I'll try to watch and bring you on. So anyone who's serious when they are watching these videos, type it in to Richard. I'm going to come on video. I'm going to ask you a question. All right. 2018 campaign brochure. I said we can go on strike. I gave you the government code, 3517.8, Ralph C. Dills Act. We have the power to go on strike. Let me say this for you again. At almost 6:21 p.m. on August 10th, 2022, we're the largest public sector union in the state of California for state employees. We have the power to go on strike, period. The question comes up, well, what if, we have a no strike clause? That does not matter. Once your contract expires and you're bargaining in good faith and you should reach a legal impasse, you have the power to go on strike, period. Don't let these so-called people who are trying to be so educated. Hold on a second. The Zoom link is not working for me. Oh, I'm so sorry. I don't know why the Zoom link's not working. Hold on. So please try again, Trisha. Please try again. The Zoom link is not working for me. I'm not sure. And I put the Zoom link up on my Facebook page this morning. All right. Now, I started a little bit early. I started at 6:15 because we know that 6 and 15 is 21. I did a quick count of my friends on Facebook. 1,497 friends. That adds up to 21. Just saying. I can't make this stuff up. It just happens. 7437, of course, is 21 in the year I won the election last year, 2021. All right. In my brochure in 2018, I told you I voted yes for a strike. That was back in October of 2016. Who else can tell you that not only do they talk about the power of the strike, but they can show you through transparency they voted for the strike? No one else can. And you have people running for statewide office under the Members for Transparency and Change banner, and they cannot show you not one vote on anything they've ever voted on in their entire life. Even in the past, I believe the former president or the former VP of bargaining, Margarita Maldonado, could show you at one point one particular vote she's had for Local 1000. So when you hear people talk about transparency and you hear these people going to your work site saying we have to get a great contract, ask them to show you. Show me your prior 2 contract votes. Show me the 16 to 20 and the 20 to 23 that were still under until June 30th, 2023. Ask them to show you their contract ratification vote, that ballot. And if they show it to you and you see they voted yes, you can see right away what the problem is. Now, I can show you I didn't vote yes. It's on my website. 716 to 120, that contract, the prior contract, I voted no. And the current contract, voted no. So I'm not just talking for free. I'm telling you the absolute truth. These other people cannot do this. So when they travel to your work site saying we have to get a great contract, we have to build membership, you should ask them, show me how you voted for the prior 2 contracts. They won't be able to show you. And then if they did vote yes, and they can show you, they'll try to defend that vote. But yet these are the same people who are saying they're fighting for you, but they're not. And that's why they won't come on my video. They're too afraid of me. All right. Hold on one moment here. That's my strike ballot again. Okay. So I put my strike ballot up twice, but that's okay. Now, I want to take a couple minutes, and I may wait to 6:30, because people say that I don't know what I'm talking about. But they love the former president, Yvonne Walker. I'm going to show you in her own words off the emails from the past. Nope, says has another meeting. Oh, so hold on. Let me go to this Zoom here. I don't know why it says that. So here's what I'm going to do. Give me one moment. I don't know why it's saying that. So let me Zoom meetings. So you were on your personal Zoom. Yes. And the meeting ID for tonight is, the last 4 is 3168, Trisha. So I can't PM you because I'm using my phone, Trisha, and I'm using the computer at the same time. So hold on one moment here. Okay, so bring them on video. Okay, hang on, let me go back and look again, no worries. Okay, so we're gonna keep going here. Now, if I start sweating, please forgive me. I turned my air off because I want people to hear me because tonight's really important. Now, let me come back here to what I was reading. Hold on one moment. Yeah, so we have prior emails here in this slide from the former president. And I want to wait till the Zoom starts at 6:30. 1692, that's the last four you have for the Zoom. So if you can't hear me, you know, I'm going to turn the fan on low. But if you can't hear me, I'll turn the fan off. All right. Hold on one second here. Let me turn this fan on low for a second. I'm sweating. Hold on. Okay, now, I got the fan on low. Hopefully no one hears that. Can everyone still hear me on Facebook? I have, no, that's the, no worries, I'll watch here. Okay, Charlene Westworth, I have 1692. All right, so here's what I'll do. Give me one moment, and I am going to end the Zoom. And then I'm going to try to go to a new Zoom meeting. Hold on one second here. Hold on. Our work, it says host has another meeting going. All right, so here's what I'll do. Hold on one moment. Let me go to this. Oh, all right, so here's what I'll do. I'm going to click on this, open up the Zoom. No, hold on, Trish. I'm going to go to the one you're at. I'm going fast as I can. Bear with me, y'all. All right, I'm going to join. All right, so I've gone back to it. Hi, I see you. All right, so you are right, Trish. I'm in the right one. There's somebody waiting to get in. So I'm going to let someone in. So anyone who's on Facebook, go back to that link. I'm doing good today, Becky. Thank you. And I'm entering people right now. Hold on. All right, so I'm letting people in on the Zoom. The link I sent out this morning is on Facebook. The link I was in, I guess, was a different link. So I used the link from Facebook. Now people are coming in. So thank you for people who are coming in on the Zoom. Yeah, I know I need help. I know. Just bear with me. Bear with me. All right, so we're letting people in on Zoom. We'll start that at 6:30. And I'm still looking into the camera on Facebook. So we're talking about prior contracts, and the ability to go on strike. So at 6:30, I'll start all over again, even though I started at 6:15. And I'm going to do a screen share. Hold on. I'm going to do a screen share for those on Zoom. I put those slides on my website. So those on my website, hold on, Colleen. Our point, our vote still doesn't matter. Last contract. Hold on, we'll get to that in a second. So those on Facebook, you can go to my website and you can follow the slides, the PDF slides on my website, Create Excellence 7437. All right, so we're going to get started here in a second, right here at 6:30. Can everyone hear me on Zoom? Can everyone hear me on the Zoom? Okay, and everyone can hear me on Facebook. Can someone type on Facebook, you can hear me loud and clear? Okay, good. All right, so it's 6:30, so we're going to get the Zoom started. And hold on one moment here. I'm gonna do a screen share. Bear with me. Okay, hold on. And all right. So, hold on. Let me go back here. I'm letting people in on Zoom. All right. This is my first time me doing a screen share by myself. Flat out to Facebook. Okay. Okay, Colleen, I don't know who you're talking to. All right. So, my name is Richard Lewis Brown. Today is August the 10th, 2022. Tonight, we're going to talk about contract and strike information. Why are we talking about that? I've been getting a lot of calls stating that Local 1000 leadership's going to work sites and they're trying to imitate me. And, unfortunately, when they go to these work sites, they don't go Facebook Live, so you know exactly what they're saying to people. When I go to work sites, I go Facebook Live, so you don't have to guess what I'm saying to people. You can hold me accountable for my words. Right now, there's no accountability in Local 1000 because they only share with you what they want you to know. And that's not a whole lot. It's almost like a repeat performance of the status quo from the past. All right. Charlene, you still say you can't get in? So I went to the Facebook link, my Zoom Facebook link, 1692 last 4, and now people were able to get in on that one. Okay. So here we go. Contract and strike information. Let me be crystal clear. I'm the only Local 1000 leader who has publicly told you over and over and over again, the state of California is not your boss. Period. This is a 50-50 partnership if we have a labor union. If we don't have a labor union and we have a disorganized social justice organization that gives money to one particular major party, well, then okay. Then okay. And if they tell you, none of these leaders that go to your work sites can tell you that this is a 50-50 partnership. They'll tell you that the state of California is our boss, and we have to do what they tell us to do. Give you an example, recent example, April 27th, 2022, they signed the telework agreement, 50 and 25, and they disrespected the membership when we did the survey in December of 21, and the membership said, keep fighting for $100 or more, period. And it also said in that survey, if they could not provide you telework, if they denied you telework, they had to provide a financial justification why you could not have telework. All right, so we're going to go down here and hold on one moment. Okay, I see Charlene. I let Charlene in. Okay. And in 2018, I talked about the ability for Local 1000 to go on strike, even with a no strike clause in the contract. And so you'll see here in my brochure, oh boy, hold on. All right, here we go back. Bear with me. I'm trying to go back here. All right, here, let me go down. I'm having a hard time here, just bear with me. So this slide is on my website as well. So I said we could go on strike, even with a no strike clause in our contract. Why? Because once your contract expires and you bargain in good faith for a period of time and you reach a legal impasse, you can go on strike. Yes, you can. And I want people to know this, because people on Facebook tell you we can't go on strike with a no strike clause. That's not true. And I'm gonna tell you more here in a second. Here's the most important thing. Why do you have to go on strike? Because you realize that you have to fight to get a substantial amount of money for the first time in your life. When these people come and talk to you about getting a good contract, ask them to show you their prior 2 contract votes. And ask them to show you why they voted yes or why they voted no. I voted no on the past 2 contracts. On these, quote, childlike condescending contracts with the pay increases that does not keep up with the purchasing power of the dollar. We're losing our purchasing power of the dollar. That's been talked about repeatedly. So when people are traveling to your work sites, and you should talk to people about my videos. because I'm the only one who's going to educate you about the truth. The only one. If these people are voting yes on these childlike condescending contracts, then what faith can you have in them in the future if their past behavior tells you they're willing to accept whatever the state of California offers or gives? All right. And so there's my 716 to 120, the prior contract, my no vote. And then here's the 2020, the current contract we're on that expires on June 30th, 2023. Voted no on that as well. Okay. And then that's the strike ballot. Now, people tell you that, yeah, we have to go on strike. How many people can show you that they actually voted yes to go on strike? Because many people will tell you, yeah, I voted yes on the strike vote. But can they show you, or are they just saying that to you? Some people ran for office and they never said they were about transparency. Fair enough. But there are some people who ran for local 1000 office that said they were for the members, for transparency and change. But yet they can't show you not one single vote from the past. Hi, thank you very much, Keisha. They cannot show you one vote from the past to show you their strength. At least with the state legislature and the federal legislature, U.S. Congress, when they have votes, they can show you the votes. And this is a shame about our board meetings. They don't want to do a roll call vote to be accountable for how they're voting. But yet they want to be like politicians. But let me stay focused here. All right. So now, listen to this. This is not from me. This was November 29th, 2016. November 29th, 2016. Stand up to the state's illegal intimidation practices. The state's response to our union's December 5th strike has been a uniform statewide strategy of threatening employees with discipline or participation. Huh? Wow. They do that now with the pandemic situation going on. So let's read down a little bit. And so it says here, this is an illegal, unfair labor practice, and it further reinforces why we have no choice but to call this strike, the state to, we have no choice but to call this strike. The state wants to violate the law and do whatever it wants at the bargaining table and then take away our right to do something about it. Listen to this. Your supervisors on behalf of the state are misstating the law. Now we got it in bold black letters. A no strike clause does not mean repeat for you again. A no strike clause does not mean no strikes under any circumstances. Unions have the clear legal right to strike, even with a no strike clause, when the state violates the law during bargaining in such a way that there is no grievance process that can remedy it. And what she's not putting in here, Yvonne Walker, once your contract expires and you bargain in good faith and you reach a legal impasse, you can go on strike. That's the same thing as well. All right. Now, it also says in this email, unfair labor practice strikes have been legal for decades under a long line of state public employment relations board PERB cases, despite the existence of a no strike clause. Now, that's what happened on November 29, 2016. Now, a prior email on November 15, where it states strike authorized. I should have had this one in front of the other one. Forgive me. All right. Strike authorized message from President Yvonne R. Walker. Overwhelming 92% majority of us voted yes to authorize any and all actions up to and including a strike in support of a contract we can be proud of. All right. So when people said we can't go on strike, that wasn't true. And then on November 22nd, she states, from Yvonne R. Walker, we're striking against the state's unlawful conduct. Now, here's one key word. Now, okay, I see you on Facebook. In other words, an impasse. Your union must file, declare it, and file it at her. So we'll get to that in a second. On Monday, December 5th, we will hold a one-day strike. You've never heard me say we're going to hold a one-day strike or a two-day strike. I said we're going to go on strike, and we're going to strike until they come in good faith and we get you a substantial pay increase. With the $100 billion in surplus, there's no excuses. No excuse for not having GO pay and COLA. There's no excuse for you to have your dignity violated over and over and over again by these bad behaving, egotistical, self-serving supervisors. I had a call today. I don't say people's names. She knows who she is. And she has had her life destroyed by a bad behaving supervisor. And so many of you are going through hell in the workplace. And it ain't just dues paying members. It's not just representing employees. We have job stewards who are going through hell in the workplace, fighting for other people and also fighting for their own job. Let me acknowledge them right now. All right. Listen to this key phrase down here in this November 22nd email from Yvonne R. Walker. Since June, the state has had a take it or leave it approach and has engaged in unlawful conduct and bad faith bargaining. That sounds like the behavior of the state of California from the time it was first created. Nothing has changed. That's just their operating modus. That's just their culture. Now, here's the interesting thing that someone on Facebook was saying about filing an unfair labor practice. I remember that conversation. I have the email. November 30th, cease and desist letter against state intimidation. From Local 1000, we're fighting back against the state's intimidation. Click here to read our demand for the state to cease and desist illegal threats. When you click there, you click on email, it's no longer up on the website. And that's a shame because something that important when we're doing a cease and desist, all those cease and desist letters that we go against the state of California should be up on the Local 1000 website to show that Local 1000 stands up against the state when it comes to intimidation. Every cease and desist letter from way back when should always be up on our website. It should always be there. Now, I'm going to read this. This is my rep back on December 2nd, 2016. Frequently asked questions regarding strike. Hold on one moment here. The state says that our strike is illegal, cannot be disciplined. Is that correct? The state's response to the union's December 5th strike has been a uniform statewide strategy of threatening employees with discipline participation. Let me get down here a little bit. This is an illegal, unfair labor practice, and it further reinforces why we had no choice but to call this strike. The state wants to violate the law and do whatever it wants at the bargaining table, then take away our right to do something about it. And then they state the same thing later in this email. The rep does. Your supervisors, on behalf of the state, are misstating the law. But sometimes not just supervisors. Sometimes we have people within our own union misstating the law. A no strike clause does not mean no strike under any circumstances. Unions have a clear legal right to strike, even with a no strike clause, when the state violates the law during bargaining in such a way that there is no grievance process that can remedy this. All right. Is it legal to go on strike even if we have a no strike clause that's still in effect? Yes. Unfair labor practices have been legal for decades under state and federal law, despite the existence of a no strike clause. And then it gives you some more information here. Then it says the fact that the union engaged in the strike in good faith can serve as a defense
Was about the strike is called off. The scheduled Monday strike is called off. All right, so I'm going to come back here. Stop the screen share. Okay. All right. So I wanted to read through that. I see your hand raised, still some keyboard notes. See 1 second. But I wanted to get through that as quickly as possible. I can't hear you very well. Okay, I'm speaking as loud as I can. Is there something in the background? Is there a background noise or something? You can't hear me, Diane? Other people on Facebook hear me loud and clear? Facebook audio is weak. Okay, I'm talking loud. All right. And the reason I want to bring this up, because when people are traveling to work sites, I sound muffled. Okay, so hold on 1 second. Hold on. Hold on. So hopefully I don't sound muffled now. Hopefully I sound loud and clear. Audio is messing. Can you hear me now, everyone on Facebook? So everyone on Facebook hear me loud and clear. What about on Zoom? You sound fine to me. Thank you. All right. But I want to bring this up because it's really just changed. You just feel it's sounds like a background track. Okay, that's not me. Thank you. Keep turning up the volume. And I know my volume is turned up. So, okay. I'm trying to do too much. All right. So here we go. I'm by myself. So, all right. So, this is very important to talk about this. So when people are coming to you, my first time seeing you, they should be asking you questions about the part of your child.
When we needed to go on strike years ago. Ask them to show you the proof of how they voted. All right, so I see a hand raised. DLC 772 President Mary Dela Cruz. Go ahead, Mary.
Hi, thank you for taking my call. Good evening. So I wanted to reach out, Richard, because I have members that wanted me to ask you, you're still our SCIU Local 1000 president, suspended, but do you actually, because they're very vocal about the essential workers pay, the teleworkers, and they're very unhappy. Is there anything you can do currently in your position, or is there not, an avenue that members can look to?
That's a great question about the essential worker premium pay. Currently, with all of my power stripped from me, I don't have the legal power. When I did have the legal power, we turned in over 17,000 essential worker premium pay petitions in February. And we always give much credit to Yolanda Williams for asking me twice to do a petition drive. So I wish I had the legal power when I was trying to get a sit down with the current governor, but he never wanted to sit down. And I know people are upset because currently they said only a small group of Local 1000 represent employees will receive any money at all. And that's a tragedy. And this is where I'm in agreement with the former Local 1000 President Yvonne Walker. When she had that conversation about that, I think back in 2020 or 2021, she said she wanted everyone represented by the union to get essential worker premium pay. Let me say that for you again, because her and I don't agree on a whole lot. Yvonne Walker wanted everyone to get essential worker premium pay. I am not the only Local 1000 president to say that.
I have a question. question though, Richard, if it's okay.
Yes.
I was there, actually, what you were showing. I was at the bargaining table in 2016, and you are correct. We were going to strike, and then at the 11:30 hour, strikes off. But my question is this, because it was during that period that I believe, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, that it's when the side letters started, where we had special salary adjustments for certain classifications, which Richard caused dissension amongst our solidarity, all for one for all, the Me Too clause, because then it made a disparity in people's salary, and we can't move forward without correcting the past. Or are you wanting members to just sweep that under the rug and pretend like it never happened? Because there was a lot of members and classifications that were impacted by that, and as we continue to move forward in the next bargaining, or the one that came after that, there was a further dissension with the special salary adjustments. And we have to go back and right the wrong? Or do we just tell those that were wrong to turn the other cheek and move forward, and we won't correct that? Thank you for taking my call.
Thank you for calling in DLC 772, President Mary Dela Cruz. I know what she's saying, and I know there's a lot more she has to say behind that. Special salary adjustments. When we negotiate the contract, we ratify a contract, and certain job classifications get a certain salary adjustment, pay increase, in addition to our regular general salary increase. How do I know this so well? And President Dela Cruz is absolutely right. This has caused solidarity problems. I know this better than anybody. I've never had a special salary adjustment. I'm just AGPA. I know this better than anybody because I lost votes in 2018 and 2021. I said a 21% pay increase across the board, equally for everyone, period. And I know people in bargaining unit 11, transportation engineering technicians, it's not enough money. I know the Heffins are dissatisfied with a 21% pay increase. It's not enough money for them. Same for the pharmacy techs. Same for the LVNs. Same for the CCRAs. And other job classifications that I cannot recall off the top of my head. It has caused problems. Will this current contract be different? The next contract be different? If I can retain my presidency, it'll be different. So before President Mary Dela Cruz calls back in about bargaining unit 11, let me go on and make the apology. Bargaining unit 11 for this current contract, they first voted it down. Good for them. Then they were told they didn't know what they were doing, and they had to vote again, and then this time it passed. So the question is, Richard, if you can retain your presidency, you lead the contract negotiations in a bargaining unit, whether it's 11, 17, or any of them, vote a contract down, will they have to vote on that same contract again? Absolutely not. 6:54 p.m. on August 10th, 2022. What happened to bargaining unit 11, I apologize for. It was wrong. Did the policy file prevent it from a revote? It did not say clearly that you could not revote. But it didn't say that if you vote the contract down, you should make them vote again. Make them vote again. Could I see that happening again this time with bargaining unit 11? Yes. But maybe not just bargaining unit 11. Let me give this respect again to bargaining unit 11. They turn out to vote. They do their job. Their voice should be respected. But as you know, people's voices when they vote in this union oftentimes get disrespected all the time. They voted for the survey, telework survey. Don't take the 50 and 25. Don't take that money. They did it anyway. disrespected the voters' wishes. They voted for a president. They trying to run me out of here. Enough. All right, let's go to the next caller, Angela Morales.
Hey Richard, how you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great. Yeah, that's a fake smile. Go ahead.
So I just wanted to let you know, yesterday I was on a DLC call, and Mr. Hall and our senior steward for DLC 729, Marcel, and a couple of other DLC job stewards were on that call, and I jumped on a little bit late. And right now I am working with the CCRAs, Correctional Case Records Analysts, and they, at Kern Valley State Prison where I work, we're very tight-knit. Everybody knows me. They know I'm a job steward. They knew when I wasn't a job steward. They always came to me about stuff, though. They always did that. So I received some of the CCRAs actually sent me emails from the individuals that supposedly represent SEIU Local 1000. And I have to tell you, I was a little disappointed because not only were they rude, but the CCRAs were very upset. Anyways, I tell you that because I mentioned that because after I mentioned everything, I just got a little spilled, and Mr. Hall cut me off, and he proceeded to say whatever he said. I kind of muted the whole thing because I was really upset about the whole situation. You don't let me talk about the DLC, what's going on with my institution. You open up that door, you give me the latitude to explain what's going on, and I didn't. And then, blatantly, I was very disappointed with the phone call because they were putting my institution down, saying that my analysts are, not doing their job and everything. So I let them speak, and then I raised my hand to speak one more time. And when I did, at that point in time, I said, since we're being so candid, let me be equally candid. 15 years ago, there was a promise that the CCRAs would get a raise because the CRTs got the raise.
That's right.
I was part of that. And I said 15 years later, they're still fighting that. And the proposal came down, and I don't really know all of the, I'm just helping out the case records analysts because this is not something that's part of the contract. It's just a side letter, the wardens and so forth. Anyways, so, this is twofold for me because I asked, what do you want me to take to the table to make them change their mind? Because you're asking me to build the membership, and I'm trying, but when they come at me with this, and they're saying, what has a union done for me? Which is true, they have every right to do that. I didn't get really the answer I thought I needed or should have gotten. It was just they just need to participate. Well, they've been participating for the last 15 years, been trying to fight it for the last 15 years. And I'm not a case records analyst. I mean, I'm an AGPA. I do my research the best that I can for them, but they're still part of who I represent. I would never be disrespectful or, I tell them, you do what your conscience tells you, because at the end of the day, if you feel the union is not doing for you what what you feel, then you have to make that decision, but own up to it. But I will tell you this, if you don't and you leave the union, then you have no voting right. So you cannot vote the individuals that are making these decisions for you out. And that's what I tell them. So I'm coming to you because you're still our president, regardless of what's going on in our union. I'm still going to bring you these things because what's important to me is I want and I want to let you know, one of the things that was said, well, the union is divided. You're damn straight it's divided. What you guys did was not right. I didn't say that because I'm trying to be very politically neutral with this whole thing, because my feelings have to be pushed aside. If I'm going to remain professional, I'm not going to let and allow anyone to do that to me. But at the same time, I'm sorry, I'm rambling, I apologize. But my thing is, you have people that are still asking that question, when is he coming back? They're ruining our union. I don't want to pay any, I've been told there's a lot of caseworkers analysts that are going to be leaving the union because they feel that they've been fighting for so long that they can do better without the union, and they can save that money and recoup that money that, you know, was promised to them. And, you know, I can tell you that I would dissuade them, and I would be lying, because I know the frustration was there 15 years. And that's what they're saying. In those 15 years, what has the union done for us to get us to that point? They haven't. And I was told last night that it was the state that did that to them. But I remember that it wasn't the state that did that to them. It got off the table for whatever reason and was lying dormant until just recently. So I found my notes, and thankfully I was on there, and but I couldn't find, and this is, I guess, the other thing is, I'm trying to find the original proposal that the state came back with saying that the CRTs would be getting that, and that the CCRAs would be, because I feel, and this is just me, I'm always trying to find different ways to do stuff. When we hired 2 new analysts, one just started 2 weeks ago, one starting at the end of the month, or the beginning of the month. And I would like for them to file agreements on all affected, because that was something that should have happened a long time ago, and the grievance process for all those that are existing has left. But those that are coming in new, if they knew, I'm thinking that we could do something crazy. I don't know, I'm just trying to find answers for them. So those are my and then the telework proposal is another thing, and then there's a lot of illegal hiring at our institution. So I'm working on a lot of stuff right now. My plate is really full, but they came to me, the analyst, and they said, you know what, they were told, what would you be willing to do? And a lot of the analysts throughout the state have said, we'll leave the union, which is unfortunate. So I'm going to stop there.
All right. Now, let me say this to you, Angela. I think people should mark the calendar tonight. I disagree with Yvonne Walker about getting everyone the essential worker premium pay. And now I'm going to make I made an apology for bargaining unit 11 to them. And now I'm going to apologize for DLC President William Billy Hall. I'm going to make an apology for him. And you'll see where I'm going with this. When he cuts you off because he doesn't want to hear what you have to say. Or he doesn't have the answers for you. Or you put them on the spot. I know someone, and I've known this person for 53 years. And sometimes he runs his mouth too much. And sometimes he has a tendency to cut people off. And he's hard-headed and opinionated. And so let me apologize to everyone on here and on Facebook, and you know who you are, who I've cut off and interrupted. I must improve that communication skill. And so does DLC President William. Easy. But when you're hiding the truth, when you don't want to confront reality, or in some cases, when you think you already know what the person's going to say, or you don't value what they're saying, then you'll sometimes cut people off. It's hard to talk in 2 minutes or less. I've been asked to stop talking so fast. And I don't want to talk fast. I want to pronunciate my words as a man from Missouri, because I'm not as cultured as people from California. Just because you have the #1 state, okay. All right, I got it. But I'm still an American. I still have rights. So thank you for calling in. Okay, so I see something on Facebook. What was the apology for bargaining unit 11? I missed that. The apology for bargaining unit 11, this current contract, bargaining unit 11 first voted that contract down. They were told that they didn't know what they were doing, that they were misled, they were deceived, and they were made to vote again. And then on the second time, the contract passed. Question is, Did you trust the vote on the second time or the first time? I don't have your answers because it's not a transparent process. So that's why I was apologizing to Bargaining Unit 11. And then I was making my apology for DLC President William Hall along with myself if we cut you off or interrupt you while you're talking. Tonight's about contracts and the power of going on strike. We can go on strike with a no strike clause. Once your contract expires, once this current contract expires, and you reach a legal impasse after bargaining in good faith, you can go on strike. We've called for strikes before in the past. I put it in my 2018 campaign brochure. If I was giving out some legal information that was incorrect, oh, you know, they would have, Local 1000 would have got at me real quick. But I didn't do it. I knew what I was talking about. So when leadership is going to these work sites on our money, and they want you to remain a member or they want to increase membership, I guess the question is first, can you respect the vote of the current membership on who they voted to be president? This idea that I've done so many things wrong, everyone has an opinion about leadership. Just look at the country. Everyone had an opinion when I was fighting to get that COVID agreement. I sincerely hope people don't leave Local 1000. Do they have a valid argument? Yes, they do. They do have a valid argument. You tell me to pay my money to vote, to participate, and when I vote, you silence my vote by trying to run off the president. That's ridiculous. You say, well, the president doesn't act right. We don't like his behavior. And so when I acknowledge the main point of what Angela Morales Myers was talking about hope, what did she tell people in her prison? I would say, please don't give up. We have to respect people's opinions. But they have a valid argument. Now, that's what it is. Hopefully I answered Angela's question without getting off on a sidetrack. But sometimes when I go off on that sidetrack, I'm covering ground. All right, so let's go to Darren Stahl. Yes, sir, Darren.
Good evening, President Brown, and good evening, my fellow Local 1000 members. And basically, I know you have a lot of ground to cover, so I wanted to kind of make this kind of short. But I got a couple things that Mary De La Cruz brought up, and as well as the last DLC president that works with the CCRs. You know,
you get back, you're going to take a shower. You get it out of the way. And you're going to get off at 9.
Hey, hold on. Someone has to mute themselves. We just heard.
I showered this morning.
Right, I took a shower too, so. All right, go ahead, Darren. I'm sorry.
And I've said it before, and a lot of people have well, not a lot. Some people have disagreed that we have allowed our bargaining units to become their own little independent caste systems within themselves. I kind of noticed, you know, a lot, and seeing a certain photograph today kind of brought this back to the top of my mind, and you know, I think a lot of folks should look into it. You know, a lot of the largest detractors that are responsible for the situation that we're currently in, they're leadership of within bargaining unit 1. And, you know, from what I've looked at, you know, bargaining unit 1 is seen to be a major benefactor more of contracts than most other bargaining units. And again, I don't know if I'm 100% accurate on that. If somebody's got something, you know, to educate me on that, I would greatly want to look at that, because just from looking at it from the surface and just seeing kind of what's out there information-wise, you know, our union leadership of the past has allowed this caste system to develop within our bargaining units. And a lot of people, look at the 21% increase. I'm starting to see why you're there, because it treats everybody equally. And right now, the way we've been letting these contracts get signed, it's been, to the deficit of some bargaining units and to the benefit of other bargaining units. And as a union, I don't know how you allow that to happen. We have, and I've said it before. I work for the DMV, and I'm an MVR, and we have a lot of employees that are, single moms, single dads, and, our salaries have been fairly stagnant for a while. But yet we've seen some of the other bargaining units with the higher end pay scales get kind of the lion's share of the benefits of the contracts. And we just kind of get told, oh, just vote. The last contract I voted no for myself, but we had our stewards at the time and that president at the time that were telling everybody, vote for the contract no matter what. And I was looking at it and going, this thing is a piece of crap. And I was telling a lot of people that, were in my unit, don't vote for it. But, they were pushing it, saying, don't get it, don't vote no on it, because if you vote no on it, the state's going to come back to the table and they're going to take more off the table.
Wait, hold on a second. Darren, I don't mean to interrupt you. I'm going to stop you right there when you said that if you don't vote yes on this contract, the state's going to come back and take more. You just heard me talk about in an email, they cannot do that. It's called regressive bargaining. That's illegal. Please continue.
And that was the mantra that was being told to our DLC when we went in to go vote. You have to take it now. This is all you get. There's nothing more that's going to happen. If you deny it, there's no telling what you're going to get, because the state's going to take stuff away from you. And that's the other thing that we need to really do a better job of, is educating the membership. Because, a lot of us are kind of novice to this, and we don't pay attention to it till it's time for bargaining. And, there's a lot of I didn't get educated on this until you started running for your leadership role. And you brought a lot of things to the forefront, which the prior president preferred to keep everything in-house and keep everything hidden away from everybody. And that's kind of where we're at. When we're told by our own stewards and our own DLC presidents at that time, this is all you get. Can't ask for more. And that's right there a disservice to everybody.
Let me chip in real quick, Darren. I just saw something on Facebook, and this person said, Ty Johnson, they will lie to you and then wash your hands by saying the membership voted for it. He's right. He's right. That's one heck of a con game. Lie to you, get you to vote for the contract. When you say you don't like the contract, they'll say, well, you voted for it, you passed it, you must have liked it. While they were trying to manipulate you into passing it to begin with. Go ahead, Darren.
Agreed, 100%. And, from my point as a member within my DLC, when this next contract comes around, I'm spreading the word. We're going to hold people accountable. And, if some folks from the local want to come down and visit and have that discussion, we're not going to take anything less than what you've ever proposed. And because, like I said, we have people in our department that make less than $50,000 a year that are making $30,000. We have MVRs that are on PI status that they're lucky to make $25,000-$30,000 a year. And that's irresponsible, as a union, to allow that to move forward.
Let me chip in and say this to you, Darren. We have some bad behaving supervisors, egotistical, self-serving supervisors. And then we have some supervisors who are misunderstood. But let me say this. I've never seen a boss who didn't want more money. I don't care what they say about Local 1000. I don't care how much they write you up and tell you you're good or you're bad. They want you to get this money. Because now they can sit back and collect that money too. and they don't have to do anything but sit back and let you get the money for them. The same way they sit back and they say, hey, do all this work, you do all the work, and some managers will take all the credit. Some managers will respect you for the work that you do. Others won't.
No,
So,
I agree. And, you know, I know you got stuff you want to get to, and I just want to put this one last thing out there.
okay.
We know, and this is where, you know, these discussions, I really hope that people have, and you know, I just want to put a bug in people's ear. It does come down a little bit to politics. You know, everyone says, oh, politics matters, whatever. Yeah, sometimes it does. And here's the thing, that everyone's got to kind of kick back and see things for what they are. We have had directors of state agencies for at least the past 15 years that have been appointed by a certain political party.
Okay.
Yet those same directors that are appointed by the governor of, you know, of that certain political party,
Right.
still maintain the policies and maintain the work atmosphere that a lot of us have to work through. Now, granted, yeah, we do have some of our own that we need to take care of, that we need to, you know, they need to cut what they do. But a vast majority of us, and a vast majority of our workforce is not that. And yet that's the common, excuse that they like to use. You know, they want to penalize the 98% of us for maybe the 2% that don't do things that they shouldn't be doing. And here's the thing: those directors are appointed by a certain governor or by certain governors from a certain political party, and then their directors are chosen. You know, their underlings are chosen in the same way. So a lot of it has to look at it from a certain perspective of not everybody's for you. The only people that are there that are supposed to be there is our union. And when our union is leaning and cuddling up to the same people that are doing the crap to us that they're doing, and we got a problem. And we've had a problem for over 15 years. And, I just want people to start those discussions and, start holding our leadership accountable. That's it.
Well, thank you for calling in, Darren. And I'm gonna answer some of this other stuff off of Facebook and off of someone else, and then I'll get right to Derek Rogue. Darren makes great points. People are tired of being told that they're not worth it, and that 21% is too much. And this is one of the reasons when you let someone like me get elected by membership, and I give you that enthusiasm, that hope, and I'm truthful with you on good days and bad days. It comes down to, even if you try to run Richard Lewis Brown out of here, you can't run that feeling he gave people. You can't run out that 10-point platform. This is why they're trying to really run me out of here and never let me run again, because I'll win again. And I'm saying that to you at 7/18 on August 10th. People have called me crazy for years. Now that 21% pay increase ain't so crazy. It never was. Because everybody represented by Local 1000, everyone represented by the other public sector unions. And I'll even say this for all these managers, because you do have some managers who want to do the right thing, but they can't. Because of the culture of dogging us and demonizing us for years. They're afraid for their jobs too. I'm not mad. I'm smiling. Okay. Soliman in the chat said, give me one reason to pay dues that has nothing to do with bargaining. And I would tell you, if you have a severe low membership, you will incentivize CalPERS and the state legislature to take more and more from you and raise your rates even higher and higher, because they'll say that you don't care. You're not willing to fight for your dignity. Now, that's the first time I've ever answered like that before. You will incentivize the state legislature to take more from you. And you will incentivize CalPERS to raise those rates even higher for your healthcare premiums. Why do I say that? at almost 7:21 p.m. tonight? Because someone's watching me and they're going to take my words and go copy it at the next work site they visit. That's why I say that. So these people say that I'm non-existent and I don't mean anything, but everything I say and do, they come behind me and they try to act like it's theirs. But they can't show you their votes. Next point before going to Derek. I have begged people. We have two major political parties in the country. Both parties look at the other and say, you're the demon. You're the reason why everything is wrong in America. Democrats point at the Republicans. The Republicans point at the Democrats. The only party that I am concerned with is the party of Local 1000 getting their 21% pay increase and their dignity protected. That's the party I want to belong to. That's the party that I currently belong to, outside the political stuff. I want to get you paid your money, period. And I don't care who sits in the governor's office. I don't have anything personal against this current governor or the former governor or any governor in the past. Only thing I've asked for, and I'm willing to negotiate in good faith, is to make sure that you can take care of your spouse or work with your spouse, working together in a two-family household, to give your children more than what you had, and to give you a retirement. And I don't believe in no livable wage. That's what people who live on the street do day to day. They go off a livable wage. They live day to day. I don't want you living day to day. I want you to be able to make enough money to put some money up and not have all your money taken from you through a stock market, or have your pension reduced down the road, possibly through some great horrendous act. I'm not going to demonize the Democrats or the Republicans or any other political party. Not doing it. I'm going to get back to the CCRAs in a second. So go ahead, Derek. Thanks for your patience. Go ahead, Derek Roque.
Good evening, Mr. President. How are you tonight?
Oh, I'm doing okay.
It's good. I want to say before I start to Derek, be at the house, and trust me, I feel everything you just said. It's so, it's so baffling to me that we've been let down contract after contract after contract, and nothing's ever been concrete in there for us DMV employees, and it's unfair. I'm sick and tired of it. I want to go off, Mr. President, what you just said a moment ago. I want to pick off of that first, and then I'll go back to the contracts about the pay, livable wages. Look at the times we're in right now. Right now, as we speak, we're in such catastrophic times with inflation rates, everything else going high, mortgage rates going up, skyrocketing, and look at. We just had a side letter agreement that supposedly was a 2.5% pay increase. Now, let's talk about that OPEB. So with the 3.5% deduction in OPEB, where's your raise at? Where is it at? Is there even really a raise? No, there's not. Let's just call a spade a spade. There's no raise. And then let's go back to the bargaining, in good faith, quote unquote, as they call it. All these shenanigans they've been doing the last few weeks, these little road tours on. That's exactly what they are. It's all for show. They're on the tour. It wasn't too long ago when I had a conversation on this very show or debate about how the town halls were ineffective, and he was a little upset by that. Why? Why was he upset by that? What did the town halls prove? They tell you your voices will be heard if you come up to the mic. Well, some people have stage fright. They're a little shy. Not everyone wants to go up to the stage. Because I pay you my X amount of dollars monthly, my voice won't be heard. What kind of union is this? you know? This whole road tour they're doing is starting to remind me of those town halls. You know, this union, here's the problem. They're so infatuated, so fascinated with spending money. You always hear them talk about how much they spend. When are they going to start talking about saving? When are they going to start talking about helping you out, giving you your dollar's worth? You know, I'm so tired of this, and we have to put a stop to these little sideshows because it only benefits those doing the tour. It doesn't benefit the person buying the ticket. I mean, that's pretty much all I got to say. Until people step up and take action, like tonight, here's a prime example. Tonight, my DLC 7.
Hello.
This road tour stopped at our. They didn't come to my work site. I didn't hear anyone from my work site telling me, "Oh, such and such stopped by while we were gone on our break." You know who did come to my work site though? I'll give you a hint. One individual came to my work site. That person's on this call tonight. That's all I gotta say. And you know what? Look at these leaders. It's kind of funny. You notice when you're on the calls, they always keep their heads down when they talk. Or when they talk in the microphone, they're like this. They don't want to look up at you. That's guilt. That's shame. Give it up. Let's give it up for a better future. Let's start that change. No, let's create that difference. I'm done. Thank you.
Thank you very much for calling in, Derek Rope, DLC 770, Secretary Treasurer. All right, let me go to Facebook and then I'm gonna come back to a chat question. Colleen Coward on Facebook. Thank you. Thank you. And you were right about regressive bargaining. Diane Jacobson, thank you. I'm glad you like my spirit tonight.
President Brown, can you tell them to put their stuff on mute because nobody wants to hear people flushing the toilet for real? Really?
Okay, so all right. So can everyone put their phones on mute? I see Evie Lynch with her hand raised. I'll get you 1 second. Let me, I'm gonna go to Evie Lynch, and then I'm gonna go to this question on the chat from Albert Manfrini, because his is a very complicated question, and somehow I'm gonna try to answer this, and then I'll take more questions on it. Okay, so go ahead, Evie Lynch, 769.
Thank you, President Brown. Thank you for allowing me to speak. I wanted to talk to my fellow members. I first wanted to say thank you to you, President Brown, for being humble enough to be able to apologize, because none of us are perfect. And just the fact that you are able to admit to that lets us know that you do not see yourself as better than us, over us, at least in my opinion. And I appreciate that in a leader, because I believe that a true leader must first be willing to be a follower, be willing to be a servant. So thank you for your service to us. I wanted to talk to my fellow members. I think that over the past few months, a lot has happened, a lot has transpired, and we all have our individual opinions on it. And I respect those opinions. One of the things I would ask for all of us to do is to remember that we are different, and that we don't have to be the same. We don't have to think the same. We don't have to agree on everything. One of the things that I appreciate about President Brown is the fact that he does allow everyone to speak, even though they may not agree with him. There have been many a times that President Brown and I have disagreed, but we are all in this fight together. I noticed that in our country, there's a lack of, or less willingness to hear the other side, to hear somebody else's point of view. And so I would challenge all leaders, especially the 3 VPs, to be willing to come onto this call, to be willing to
actually have the conversations, have those hard conversations, because that's what we need right now within our union, because we're not united. As they're going on this road show and going from area to area, and those hard questions are being put to them, I would like for them to come and actually answer those questions on this call so that people do clearly hear their words. Because we have a lot of he said, she said, and I'm not stating that, what is being said regarding their words is incorrect. I don't know. I didn't hear it. But I think it will give them an opportunity to actually show that they want to work for the union, regardless of what their opinion is. I was told before that by a leader that the reason they felt that President Brown was a detriment was because they disagreed with the way he running the union. And that concerned me, because there's so many different ways to do anything. We did things a certain way for over 13 years, and it worked to a certain degree. However, we needed change. People spoke up for change. They voted for change. I think, in my opinion, that should have been respected. Other leaders felt that shouldn't be respected, that they knew better, and they felt that they needed to make a different type of change. I don't know. This is what I say. It was change that gave us the cell phone. It was a willingness to change that gave us electric cars. It was a willingness to change that gave us phones that we are able to do multiple things. We have many computers that are in our hands. It was a willingness to do something different, to listen, to speak, to act differently. So I would just ask leaders, members, have those difficult conversations and listen. Listen to the other side. Find out why they do what they do. I don't totally agree with everything President Brown does, but I do agree that the members voted for what they felt they needed, and that should be respected. And some people have asked me not to speak on my own faith, and I respect that they have that viewpoint. However, I am a Christian, so I'm going to speak on my faith, and no one else has to agree with me. It's my faith, so I speak from my base. There's a passage from the Bible on John 16:12. Jesus said to his disciples, "I have yet many things to say unto you, but ye cannot bear them now." So when I read that comes up to me a lot of times, because right now, people don't understand, and it's the lack of understanding how that change can be able to put us into a new era, catapult us into a new era. But because we can't bear that information now, because our minds are closed, we are never going to be able to get the change that we need, let alone want. So please, please be willing to just go out there, have those hard conversations with people. It's not going to be easy. They're going to say things that you're not going to like to hear. Let them say it. But it's then that we can really become united. Whether you agree with me or not, thank you for giving me the time to speak.
Well, thank you very much, DLC 769 E.B. Lynch. And I looked, yeah. And so when she quoted the Bible, I was looking at it too. All right. And she said something that I've never said before. And I always acknowledge people when they say things I think is just incredible. Willingness to change. I never used change in my 2021 campaign. I said you have to create. You can't change what you never had. But the way she said change, about opening your minds up to do different things, that's critical. And then the challenge. I guess change and challenges are two C's tonight. Challenge the VPs. And then they say that they're afraid to come on my cause. listen, no one's afraid of me. We're all grown-ups here. Now, I see someone on Facebook, thank you for the support and the respect. And she's saying that you're too afraid to come on and hear the truth. I don't have anything to hide from. And like I tell people, I've had good days, I've had bad days. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go back to DLC 772 President Mary Dela Cruz, and then I want to have a conversation with Albert Manfini. If he's still on, I want him to come on. I want us to have a conversation because he asked something that's super important. All right, so go ahead, Mary.
Hello. Thank you for taking my call. Well, for quoting scriptures, let me give you a few.
Okay.
The Word of God also says, beware of wolves in sheep's clothing. And he also says in the scriptures, when that day comes, he's going to say, depart from me, you worker of iniquity. I never knew you. And he's going to spew you out of his mouth.
Okay.
So there's some scriptures for some of the people, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Because I'm not afraid to be on your call, Richard. I'm here listening to you. However, there's people on this call that when I actually, I appreciated EB's sermon. But, there's people on this call, when I reached out to them and asked them for assistance, for help, they basically told me, don't be bringing your bullshit to me. And I'm thinking, wow, and this is leadership talking like that to us. So I don't think there's really, I'm not afraid to be on the call. I'm here. I'm very, professional. But I do believe in truth and transparency. And if those that are on this call would know the truth and the transparency that is going on, I think the truth would set a lot of people free. And I hope, what's taking place for you, Richard, your HR1 and Derek and EB there assisting you. I hope, you guys, more power to you guys. Thanks.
Well, listen, I'm glad that DLC 772 President Mary Dela Cruz came back and said that. I'm glad that she did, because we all need people to help us, and the truth and transparency is something I've ran on since 2015. Courage, integrity, and vision. Let's change our union through courage, integrity, and vision. Through transparency. And it's funny because that statement inspired somebody else to come up with their statement, Members for Transparency and Change. But there's a difference. I show my transparency. I just don't talk about it. I can show you my voting record from 2012 up to now. So I'm glad that we're all talking tonight. And listen, the 3 VPs, the statewide vice presidents, they may come on one day. So I'm glad of that. Now, I want to get to Albert Manfredini. Is he still on? Or Manfredini? Albert.
You got it, you're close. Yes, Manfredini.
Okay, thank you. I know I'm butchering your last name. I'm sorry. All right.
Yeah.
So
I was just trying to play devil's advocate. We want to have conversations with members. They have the attitude. Why be a member year round when they can just member up, vote, and then cancel their membership? I mean, that's just like a 2-month period.
Right. So wait, here. Let me mute everybody. And then we'll start again. So hold on. Okay, so Albert, are you still there?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, so good. I got you back because we're getting a little bit of background noise. You brought up something, and normally, as I tell people, I go into these videos unscripted, unrehearsed, so I don't have no scripted answer for you. But sometimes I have to show some type of level of intelligence. So I try to put a slide together tonight. All right. But the question you asked about, why pay dues all year round when you can sign up to vote in an election and then cancel your membership right after that, basically? Or sign up to just vote on a contract and then cancel right after that.
Save a lot of money.
Now, here's the funny thing. And I want everybody on Facebook and on Zoom to hear this, because I've never talked about it openly before. When you sign up to vote in this election, you gotta read that policy file really, really carefully. Because in this past election, it said that if you weren't a member if your membership application was not received by April 7th, you would not be allowed to vote. But only non-members got that. Nobody who ran for election, no DOC president, no statewide officer running for office, nobody running for office got that email. Because that would be something that would be critical to a candidate running for office. So when people ask you, what's the last period of time I can sign up to vote, to be a dues paying member to vote in the election? Because the policy file does not state it to you clearly. And so you make a great point by that. Here's the rest of the story. When they don't tell you when's the cutoff date, only to the non-members, then they do a disservice to those running for office. They keep you in the dark when you're supposed to have knowledge on the elections process because you're running for office. So you make a great point. Some people say until they can deduct a whole month's salary from you, they won't let you vote. So oftentimes when people say, I signed up and I never got my ballot, did you sign up in time? And then the other question is, even if you signed up in time, did they even count your ballot? Because they know you just signed up. And if they know you just signed up to vote in this election, they know you're voting against the status quo. Period. Now here's where it gets tricky. I'm sorry, go ahead.
There might be a situation where, like, you have to be a member by a certain date for them to process and then mail out a ballot and to get the ballot in time. But I would assume that as long as you're a member at the voting period, that you could show up somewhere and just vote because you may not have gotten it in the mail. No. It's not like that. You see me hop up and go grab the policy file. And I don't want to take up too much time, but that question you're asking is so vitally important. It says here, before these illegal changes they've made recently. So, in the last legally changed policy file back in 2020 or in 2019, it says here, for membership, Division 2, page 1, initial membership. Local 1000 membership is effective at the time a signed membership payroll deduction is received by the membership department of Local 1000. Now, that was said for initial membership, for A. And if I'm reading this incorrectly, someone will come on here and straighten me out. All right. But in this last election, they sent out an email, because I have a copy of the email. I had something coming for Local 1000. They didn't know. They sent out to all the non-members, if we don't receive your membership application, this is how they said this. Prior to April 7th, 2021, you're not going to be able to vote. Now, down here in B, it says new members are deemed to be in good standing at the time Local 1000 receives the membership application. So it almost sounds like it's the same thing in A as it says in B. Maybe I'm wrong. But if you don't even know the date that it has to be in by, and you're a candidate running for office, and people are saying, well, I don't know if I want to mess with Local 1000, but I like you, so I'm going to wait till the last minute to sign up to vote for you. And then they don't even tell you, if they even get that email telling them, you don't sign up by this date, you can't vote. Now, here's where it gets tricky. I guess this does fall under contracts. In our contract, and I don't know if I can find it fast enough, it tells you when they're going to pass a contract, they'll let you sign up right then and let you vote to pass a contract. If someone knows the page on that really quickly, I don't know it. Oh, gosh. You think I'd have that memorized? Yes. Go ahead, sir. Go ahead. Just to continue my thought.
Yes, sir.
I think our Local 1000 union has relied exclusively on dues, membership dues.
Yeah.
And that's something we could survive on pre-Janus decision, but after Janus, now, I think we need to make a transition into not relying on member dues exclusively. I mean, Local 1000 is a nonprofit organization. There must be other ways to generate revenue for functioning and not rely so heavily on membership dues alone. I'm afraid when I have these conversations, the pushback I'm going to get is like, well, I'll only be a member if I need something, if I need to vote or if I need representation. But outside of that, they're just going to sit on the sidelines and save money and not pay dues and leave it for others. So, I mean, our dues are set at what they're set at for organization to survive. But I just think there should be other ways to generate funds concept of like a local 1000 club card or something where we can get like a cell phone 10% discounts, or 15%, or even Home Depots or different AAA roadside assistance, or just kind of we have 100,000 state employees that we can influence and basically get businesses to provide some sort of a discount for our group of people. If it's opened up to family members as well, that's 400,000 people of influence that I think a lot of businesses are willing to work with us and sign contracts with us to give us discounts. I think if we create a club card of some sort, provide members year-round advantage and services outside of grievances and voting, I think we'll change the atmosphere and we'll get more members.
Well,
try it.
Well, here's what I would say. That's a great point. And I bet you a lot of the younger people in the union would agree to that. You can see how they're treating me, that they're unwilling to really do anything outside the norm. Now, with this nonprofit status that we carry, I am not a nonprofit mutual benefit corporation guru. So I don't know how much money you could raise to a nonprofit that could still be, quote, nonprofit and not affect your tax status. I don't know. But I'm not going to go against what you said, because a lot of people have called me over the years and said these things to me. So maybe you're absolutely right.
Thank you for taking my question.
Oh, you're very welcome. And I'm trying to get to this part in the policy file where we talked about then people sign up and go on the contract right then. Okay. Hold on one second here. So another comment. The cold reality is they don't want you to vote. They don't want to hear your voice or your opinions. This is why they do not ask you about the POP days. Oh boy. Do not report on strike votes or contract ratification votes. Okay, so someone beat me to it. All right. That's how it's going to be tonight. Everybody's out talking me tonight. Fair enough. Listen. That person, who wrote that? Ty Johnson once again. He's right. Now, when I tell someone's right once or twice, I don't want you to think, oh, that person and I are friends and everything they say, I just nod my head to. Because I'm not that type of person that nod my head to everything someone says, whether they're my friend or not. But this person, Ty Johnson, makes a great point. When they're going to these worksite visits, did they come to your worksite to see how you were doing when you were losing 3 days of pay under the furlough fiasco with Schwarzenegger? No, they did not. Did they come to you when you were losing 1 day of pay in 2010 or 2012 under Governor Brown? They did not. Did they come to your worksite asking you how you felt, asking to drive up membership when you were losing 2 days of pay for a whole fiscal period and you were scheduled to lose another 2 days the following fiscal period? They did not. Did they say, we're going to stop sending our money to SEIU International? That's $688,000 a month because you're losing 2 days of pay, so we're hurting, somebody else has to hurt? They did not. Did they stop their money they pay to all our affiliates when we were losing 2 days of pay per month? They did not. Here, let me simplify it for you. Let me stop. I don't want to compound my sentences. When we were losing 2 days a month, this last POP, or anytime we lost money per month, did they, why am I talking so loud? Did they reduce your dues? Did they? I'm waiting. They're so smart, they're so brilliant, they're so professional, they're so dignified, their behavior is always on par because they're so professional. Did they reduce your dues? And when they agreed to give up 2 days of pay for 2 straight fiscal years, did the state legislators say, we're in this together with you, we're going to give up our money too? All right, I see a hand raised. President Mary Dela Cruz. Go ahead, Mary.
Hi, thank you. Hey, I appreciate you've really educated us on a lot of the past, but for the current and the present, Richard, are you
Yes.
able to update us or give us any information on the HR1, how that process is going, where are we at, so,
Right.
we can anticipate anything like that?
Well, the HR1 process is a confidential situation, and I said 2 weeks ago that if those hearings were not open, it's because Annika did not want it open, that's what happened. And so therefore, and maybe Annika Walls can come on here and we can talk about the HR1 situation together. And that way she couldn't say that I was releasing confidential information because we talked about it together at the same time. And so what's fair is fair. So no, I can't release any information about this at this time. And I'm deeply apologetic.
No worries, because I am getting information from members out of my DLC that you're reaching out to them to testify. So I'm kind of, that's why I thought you could talk about it, because if you're personally reaching out to them, asking them to testify, is that appropriate, or is that
because
that part we can talk about?
Sure, sure, we can talk about that.
Yeah.
I can't talk about what they were going to testify because I don't know everything they were going to say, whatever. But what I simply say is this: when you're trying to defend yourself, you want witnesses. So yeah, because I'm sure if you ask Annika, she'd tell you the same thing.
You keep bringing up other people. I'm
Right.
interested to hear
No, but the reason why
bringing in other people, but I'm trying to stick to this meeting and us here, and I'm coming to you, and I
Right.
can have a conversation with Annika,
Right.
but that's separate,
Right.
So I'm thinking about you and moving forward, and what my members out of my DLC are saying, that you're reaching out to them individually and asking them to testify. So I'm thinking, well, I guess you can talk about it, because if you're reaching out to them, and they best believe they call and let me know. And so,
You know what? I'd have to go back through, but the only thing I can tell you is the HR1 hearings are closed, so I can't talk about it, and I don't want to be accused of releasing information.
Well, how did Derek and Evie attend? I mean, that's why I thought it was open.
No, it's not, because and I don't know how you heard that they were my assistants, but yes, they're helping me as.
I never heard they were your assistants. I think you just said it right now. You
Okay,
just confirmed
well-
they're your assistants.
Well, that's why.
Okay.
Okay, hold on a
No.
second. Hold on a second. Let me finish.
Okay.
Let me finish. Yes, they're assisting me,
Okay.
and that's all I can say. And so it's no different than when the attorney that I had, Rodney Diggs, when I had him. So it's no different than that.
Okay, I just didn't know, because I didn't, that's good that you have assistants. I didn't know if you need more assistants. Maybe that's why you're reaching out to my DLC. I know you didn't reach out to me. Maybe they're just selected the people you're trying to reach out to. I know you're about transparency. And so that's why I told them that I would ask, and I almost forgot. So I'm reaching out to find out, can you elaborate about that, or are you just selecting certain people?
No, I'm not going to talk about that anymore. That's a closed hearing, and everyone knows no one's more transparent to me. So if I can't talk about something, then I'm under a gag order. So that's all that I can say. Okay. Wait a minute. All right. So when someone says here, Sullivan, closed meetings was a mutual agreement. No, it wasn't mutual. It was not mutual. All right. With that being said, I knew tonight was going to be a great night because we're going to talk about contracts, our prior contracts, the strike, our ability to go on strike. I knew the questions about the HR1 was going to come up. And, I know everyone has great concerns, and I deeply appreciate that. And if I can't talk about something, then you know what bothers me. So I don't want to be accused of giving out information and then be, held responsible for that. So I don't want anyone to think that, oh, he's not being transparent, because that's an absolute lie. And I'm glad that people are standing by their faith, because believe me, if I didn't have faith, I wouldn't have made it this far in life. And the key thing about faith, as we say, Hebrews 11:1, now faith is the substance of things hoped for, but the evidence of things not seen. That goes against, quote, rational thinking. That goes against common sense. Let me say it for you again, Hebrews 11:1. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, But the evidence, and we think of evidence as something you can put your hands on, something that's clear cut, of things not seen. And why does it say it like that? Because I've never seen God, but I know he's with me. I don't know, I didn't see God create the earth and the heavens, but I know he did. So I'm walking in faith. And when Evie gave the scripture, John 12:16, or I said 16:12, she spoke from her heart. And when DLC President 772 President Mary De La Cruz gave from her heart the scripture, wolves in sheep's clothing. And I should have that verse memorized. I know it's in the New Testament. They're speaking from their heart. And those who don't even believe in God, and that they believe in a positive mindset to overcome anything.
Genie in the bottle.
Okay, that sounds good too. And so I want everyone, whether you believe in God or Allah or Jehovah, or if you don't believe in God, or your God is a different type of God, stand by what you believe in. Now, some people get mad and say, you should try to convert people to how you believe. I'm sorry. That's not me. I want people to believe in what they believe in. And that belief will get us through with Local 1000. And let me say this, because a lot of people are convinced that they're going to run me out of here. If that's God's will, then that's God's will. I still serve my purpose. Will I be sad? Absolutely. But I put my faith in God that we're going to get through this together. And to those who have a positive mindset, I'm being tested on a daily basis to keep a positive mindset. Now we're going to end this out. It's 7:57. We're going to let Angela Morales take us home. Okay, Angela.
Hi, Richard, again. Thank you for taking my call.
You're very welcome.
I know we can't talk about the HR1. We can't talk about any of that stuff. But what I do want to ask you is, and I was listening to everything that everybody was saying, and one of the things I heard was challenge, and it made me think about this. We all are challenged by change. Let's just put that. We are, because we have individuals that are in our union right now in the leadership that don't want to change. It's obvious. So my biggest challenge is, let's just, I don't know, you know what? It's not my biggest challenge, but I would just challenge everybody on this call tonight to really sit down and think about and map out what you'd like to see happen to this union, and then start vocalizing it. Because you know what the Bible says, if we're going to be quoting, you know what, don't see things as they are, you have to, and I'm paraphrasing because I don't know the scripture, I'm not going to lie, but you know what, we're to see things as they are not. And that's kind of what the vision board that people talk about. And I would challenge you, what do you want to see with this union? And if you want change, then yeah, you've got to start it. Let that be the challenge. Let that be the challenge of change. Because right now, all I have to say is this. Am I doing everything I can right now to help this union? Honestly, no. Do I believe in this union? I believe that there are good things about it and not good things about it, but I believe that it can change, and I believe that if we change the environment, people will start getting on board. We'll see that membership move up. But right now, and I'm just gonna say it, you know, I'm not gonna sugarcoat anything. I think my age alone lets me be this way. So, but what happened to you, Richard, has left a sour note in a lot of people's in their mouth about our union, and they're not happy, and I think that they are showing that. So even though you not being visual, so to speak, you have this support, and I think that, and I'm just gonna say it, I failed to have people really, really look and say, hey, you know what? If you're not happy, and I tell people, if you're not happy, then leave. But if you're not happy with what's going on, then you know what? I challenge you to change it. You make that change, and let's see where we can go. Because we all know one little person, not little, but one person refusing to sit in the back of the bus changes everything. One person that refuses to say enough is enough, we need to be treated like humans. One person to say that, you know what, this world was not founded on principles that we all agree on, but one thing that we can do if we come together is make that change. So I challenge all of you that are on here, if you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, and I know a lot of you are doing more than what more because I feel like you've been in it longer and you believe in it, but take a step back and look at it like look at the big picture. What do you want to see changed? How can you affect change? And go from there. I applaud these leaders, these DLC presidents, because I know that it's challenging and difficult more than anything, but like I've been seeing and hearing everything, a kind word actually says a lot and can motivate so many people. And that's one thing that I see right now that our union is not really doing. And it's unfortunate that I'm going to go back to that change and challenge. I challenge you to change one thing. One thing. One thing. That's it. One thing. And then let's let Richard know. That way you know, Richard. That's all I'm really, it's been heavy on my heart because I've had, like I said, my plate full, but there's always room for more. I know we do a lot, and I know that this thing, this cloud over us right now, this too will pass. Everything is for a season, and there's a reason, and hopefully we can learn from this season and figure out a way to not let it happen again. And I'll leave with that.
Well, thank you very much for calling back. And okay, I see one last hand raised. So we'll go to Derek Roke and then we'll end the call.
Thank you, Richard, for allowing me back on. Is my connection good?
Oh, yes. Yes, loud and clear.
I'm like a little motivated now. Everyone's talking like Bible scripture, and I'm Jewish, so I'll openly say it. I'm a proud Jew, and we have kind of like a similar book, but it's a few scriptures might be a little different, Hebrew. But I just one of my favorite verses, and it's from the Tanakh, actually, the Hebrew Bible, and it's I just want to end by saying one of my favorite verses. I felt like I had to do that. It's from the book of Jeremiah.
Okay.
13:10. It states, "This wicked people who refuse to heed my bidding, who follow the willfulness of their own stiffened and hardened hearts, who follow other gods and serve them and worship them, shall become like that loincloth, which is not good for anything." I just want to end that. Thank you.
All right. That was Jeremiah. You said 13:10? Jeremiah 13:10, if I'm correct.
That's correct.
I guess I don't have this thing memorized as good as I need. Jeremiah, okay, here we go. Jeremiah 13:10. Wait a minute, 13, okay, I'm gonna get 13:10. Now I'm in the King James, so hopefully should be as close as possible to your book. They're saying Jeremiah 13:10. "This evil people which refuse to hear my words, which walk in the imagination of their heart, and walk after other gods to serve them and to worship them, shall be as this girdle which is good for nothing." So I'm gonna say a couple words and we're gonna wrap this up. Tonight's been a wonderful night. Everyone has spoke. I have about 99% not interrupted anyone. That may be a first. And we've talked about a lot of stuff that people should now have the education to talk about. You're going to continue to hear people lie and say we can't go on strike with no strike clause in our contract. Because they've been lied to for too many years. And the ones that know that these are lies are continuing to tell these lies. But the proof, through transparency, is up on my page, R.L. Brown on Facebook, or my Richard DeReal 7437 on Facebook. And I also put up on my website, createexcellence7437.com. Whether you believe in God or whether you don't believe in God, that is your freedom to choose in this great country. They say we're founded on Christianity, on Christian values. Okay. But it also said that you don't have to believe in any God. You have that freedom as well. In our union, you should have the freedom to speak your mind and not be demonized, criticized, and in my case, they try to run you out of the union. You should have that freedom. And when your particular person doesn't win, you shouldn't use your opinion to justify making smear allegations against a leader to remove that person from office. And that's why when someone said, it's left a sour taste in people's mouths. Yes, it has. Yes, it has. And it's going to really hurt this union if something happens to me. It's 8:07, and I end with this. People say, don't lose faith, Richard. And even if they say that they removed you from this union, you will always be our president for this period of time, and we will follow your lead. Thank you. Today is August the 10th, 2022. I'm Richard Lewis Brown. Thank you for your time. Everyone have a great evening, and I'll see you next Wednesday night. Or maybe sooner, you never know with me. All right, have a great night. Good night.